All right, welcome in to the BFR Podcast presented by Sports Mockery. My name is Dave. I cover the Bears for Sports Mockery. You can check out all sports, Chicago sports on sportsmockery.com. I'm joined by my good friend, co-host Ficky. Follow him on all socials. It's Ficky Baby. Go ahead and check out the podcast as well on Twitter, all socials, BFR_pod. Bears win. Again, first time in the Eberflus era where they've won back-to-back games. They've also won, back-to-back wins against the NFC North, where they were actually, he was 0-9 going against the Vikings. Now he's, 2 in a row. It's a little crazy. I'm excited. I have a lot I want to talk about, like almost too many things to really get to. But Ficky, man, first of all, as we always start this show, man, how you feeling?
No, I'm good. So I have, I think I've mentioned before in the show, but I have like two friends that are, one's a Packers fan and one's a Lions fan. So I'm like texting them during this whole thing, you know what I mean? And so like to finally get revenge, right? Because obviously the whole time during this game, I'm feeling, please don't blow it, because I was talking mad shit. And I was afraid that we're going to have the exact same thing that happened last game, because there was 4 minutes left. We were up 12. And that's literally the same thing that happened 3 weeks ago when we lost to the Lions. So the ego in me is like just happy that we actually had a lead and then kept it for the whole game. And so like, yeah, I mean, I'm never going to be mad. There's nothing that's going to bring me down from a Bears win, because they're so few and far in between. So I'm excited as hell.
I know, man. It's honestly surreal that the Bears have won back-to-back. And then the way they won it today, and I know we'll get to the game in general, but I mean, 28-13 against a team that was 9-3 heading into this. Like, first of all, they should have beat them the first time around.
Which is crazy.
Which is crazy to think
about. Beat them twice.
Yeah. And they should have beat them twice convincingly. Except for, we all know about the first matchup and the meltdown there within the last 4 minutes. But at the end of the day, a 28-13 win, you're now you have 2 straight wins. You could go on a 6-0 run to end the season now, because that was probably the toughest matchup, maybe on paper. I know Cleveland's going to be tough with defensive. Packers too, but I think they're beatable, man. And until we do it, probably won't have any faith.
Jordan Love has been playing well, but I know we'll get to it. But how the defense has been playing recently, not just like, these past 2 games, but like the past 9, like we do have a chance. Let's put it this way: every game that's left, we may not be favored in, but there is a possibility that we could win the game, right? None of them, it's like, that team is so dominant that there's no chance. You know what I mean? We're not playing Kansas City again, thank God. So.
No, absolutely. And honestly, I'm not even going to say that I'd like my chances against KC the way this defense is playing, but I want to kind of start there. I know we can talk about Justin Fields, and we're going to get to him in a moment, because I have some things I want to talk about and say about him today. I know you have a lot to unpack with him as well, but I want to talk about Montez Sweat. I want to talk about this defense and the turnaround they've had, because honestly, I don't know what the numbers say, but I know they were top 10 the last few weeks, last 5 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
How good is this Bears defense, man?
Right now,
13 points.
Go ahead and read up the stats. If you have,
no, I was just gonna. I don't have all the stats here.
Oh no, you're good. I mean, I would say they're a top 10 team. How they're playing right now, if we go from 8 weeks ago, 9 weeks ago, if you count now, right? Basically, it's funny because Warren Sapp, who's a big NFL guy on Twitter, he was talking about, not Warren Sapp the player, the other guy, or Warren Sharp. Sorry, Warren Sapp's Sharp, the Hall of Famer. My bad, Warren Sharp. He was talking about, he brought it up just randomly before this Sunday game. He was like, the Flu's defense has been balling out. Like, they're top 5 in rushing defense, and turnovers are top 5. And it happened 8 weeks ago. And I was like, the first thing I thought of was, we've talked about it multiple times on the show. Once Alan Williams left, right, and Flus took over, that was basically the shift that we saw. But there was another key piece, which I totally forgot. We talked about it when it happened, but I totally forgot about it. And Warren Sharp brought it back up on his tweet, was that we hired Phil Snow as basically not a defensive coordinator, but he basically preps. He does the advanced work of looking at the future opponents and how they run their offenses, and gives Flus more information, you know what I mean, to prep for those opponents ahead of time.
Right.
Flus is doing a lot. And so, I mean, with Flus taking over, with the addition of Phil Snow, we're kind of seeing like peak defense right now, right? Red zone defense has been pretty good, right? We haven't, like, I feel when we get in the red zone, I still feel like there's a chance to hold teams to field goals, which we did today. Obviously the turnover, right? We had 3 of them again today. I know one of them at the end doesn't really count, and one of them was a muff punt, but we still saw Jalen Johnson interception and then timeout. Pay that man, right? You need to pay him. And then overall, the addition of Montez Sweat, like game changer, bro. The Javon Dexter got his first sack today. Guess who was right with him? Montez Sweat. Montez Sweat got his own sack, one-handed, holding Jared Goff. Now, I know Jared Goff's basically a piece of cardboard back there, but still able to pull him down. And then obviously the amount of pressures you see him get week after week after week. So, like, great addition. I just think, like, things are lining up at the perfect time, which has been great. The only question is it too late? This defense looks good, but will it be important if we can win the next 5 out and get to the playoffs? So overall, though, to answer your question, they're playing like top 10 easily. And then there's definitely some categories and statistics that would easily put them in the top 5, right? So again, the rushing game the run game wasn't too great today, defending the run, but the Lions have one of the best running combos in the league.
And
so
one of the best offensive lines.
Facts, that also too. And they still kind of held their own. They gave up a couple big plays with Gibbs, and Monty had some chunks at the end. But overall, Rant's done. But overall, the defense has looked phenomenal.
I want you to almost keep going because I love what you're saying, but I want to talk about the turnaround in the second half, because what have we always critiqued, the coaching staff with? Adjustments. They were reeling. They were down 13-10. It looked like, honestly, you take a poll of everyone in the stadium, every Bears fan, it was getting bad. It was looking terrible. Justin Fields and the offense had a great first drive. Other than that, it was very iffy. After that really bad third down call and the 4th and 1 where they ran a sweep or something to DJ Moore or a toss or whatever it was, and they ended up not getting the conversion, it kind of just the momentum shifted. And then it went all the way to the second half. The Lions get the ball. And this is where I want to credit the defense, because they got a 3-and-out right away. And the thing is, they didn't have to. It could have easily just been like, I think if you talk about or look at the first matchup as well, they actually got a 3-and-out to start the second half as well.
Yes, they did.
But it's very, this defense and the turnaround with, the coach you just mentioned, but Eberflus as well. You have to give him credit, just not even from coaching, head coaching, but the defense and everything that he's done to keep this team, the locker room intact. Because honestly, I thought he lost it at least 3 or 4 times this year. You can look at the Lions loss, the Denver loss. There were moments where it was like, it was looking bleak. But the second half adjustments, both from Luke Getsy, and we'll get to the offense in a little bit, but the defense and how they did not allow a point, one single score in the second half.
And they didn't even have a first. They didn't have a first down. Is that right? Or
till late in the fourth?
Till like late in the fourth, right? The whole third quarter. I don't think they got first.
I think it was like 7 or 8 minutes left in the fourth where they were kind of going conservative. Yeah. They had, because I think Monty had a big catch and run. He had another, the big run.
Those 2 big runs. Yeah. When they were like allowing them to chew the clock.
But listen to this, man. So the Lions had 267 yards, total yards, 127 passing, 140 rushing. Okay. They got 13 first downs. They were 6 for 15 on third down, 1 for 5 on fourth down. They let up 4 sacks. They punted 4 times. They had 8 penalties. They had 1 fumble, 2 interceptions. I mean, that's a really, really good job by the Bears defense against a top 5 offense in the Detroit Lions.
Oh, easily.
So
they did a great job. Another key point there, though, which is we're normally on the opposite end, and I noticed this right off from the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Penalties. I got to give Flus his flowers for that too. This team was coached well. There was not many penalties. There was
4 penalties on the Bears.
4
for 35
barely
yards.
Any on defense. There was like that one offsides by Green. I think that was the only one on the defense. A couple on the offense. Okay, a couple holdings because Field would like roll out and then there'd be holding. That typically happens, right? But the Lions had a shit ton and some big penalties that really normally that's what kills our drives. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh wow. And the good thing is the old Bears, right? Or I'd say previous like this defense and how it's been holding is like we would get into those favorable 3rd and long positions, downs, and we would somehow fuck it up with a penalty, or they would just get the yards. You know what I mean? In this game, right? In some of the most recent ones, you have not seen it. Like it actually gets to 3rd and 10, and I'm actually like, oh wow. I actually feel like our defense can stop him here, can hold him here, which was completely opposite.
That's funny. It's funny you say that. I honestly, throughout this game, so my uncle was over and we were watching the game together, and we have not watched a game where the Bears have won since actually the 49ers, the opening game last year against the 49ers. So he comes over quite a few times a year, but we just have not, got a win together. But during this matchup, it's funny you mentioned that. I was like, it was 3rd and 15. And I was like, I honestly still am not 100% confident we can get a stop here. Even though the defense was playing so well and getting stops, it's just they've burnt me so much over the past year and a half where I'm like, I don't know how you had the confidence to.
That's how I felt about not the defense. That's how I felt about the game. Like I was like, until that clock went to 0, bro, absolute. So it was weird. I was definitely more confident in the defense, but like, who knows, right? Like we could punt it, right? And they get a punt return for a touchdown, kick return for a touchdown. We could fumble on offense. I was just like, in my head, I'm like, there's so many things that could go wrong. Like we know that, we'll get to Fields, but we know he's kind of the king of like late random kind of gut punching turnovers. So deep down, the PTSD in me and the trauma from this team was like with you on that, where it's like, I don't know about that. I have to see it to believe it. But the defense, each game, it's been about 3 games now, basically since Sweat, where I've really been like, we getting third and long. Like, I feel like we play good. And based off our defense that we play, we give up a lot more of that short yardage. So I feel better because I know what's probably going to happen, which happened like 3 or 4 times in this game, is that the quarterback ends up dumping it off to like the tight end in short yardage, the running back in short yardage. They'll probably get 6, 7, 8 yards, but we make the tackle just before they get the first down. It leads to a punt. So I'm just happy that, we're finally here. There's actually something positive to talk about. Like we talked about this in the midseason grades last week. I mean, literally a couple of days ago. This defense in all categories is trending up, and it's just beautiful to see, right? So hats off. Hats off to that defense. That's the top five offense. This wasn't just your Joe Schmo Jets without Aaron Rodgers, right? This is a really, really, really good offense. Dude, and we held them in check.
Jaquan Brisker. I want to bring this up. 17 tackles. He had 13 by himself, 4 assisted. What the hell? He is just unreal. And I was
he had a great game.
I was a little upset in the very beginning. I don't know if you know where I'm going here, where he went down early, and I was like, here we go. I was like, what happened? Because I feel like he always has those moments, and I'm not sure if he just was catching himself, maybe wind knocked out of him.
No, I think it's wind, and that's happened 3. It's weird I remember this. It's happened 3 times this year where he's been on the ground, and they've all been wind stuff. So he does like to lay the wood, pause on how I said that, but like he loves to make big hits. So he does get caught up in collisions a lot. So, maybe that's just the style of play where it ends up like he gets hit in the sternum a lot and runs out of air. So luckily, he got up and kept balling. I mean, it was like a resurrection of Christ, man.
But I think he likes to, and I can't say this for sure, but I feel like I don't know if he knows how much he scares fans when he does those big, breaks, or he's just like laying there or whatever it is. It's like, it's alarming. And I'm always like, it's like, do we need to get some insurance next year? Like maybe get a couple more safeties just because of the injury. But hats off to him. 17 total tackles. I think that's, honestly, it's incredible.
He was everywhere. And he caused that huge pass breakup on Amon-Ra on 3rd down. That was huge in the third when they were in the red zone. Ended up being to a 4th down, and I think that's when Montez got the sack. Or he broke it up. They threw it to Amon-Ra again, and I think Amon-Ra like dropped it because it was like kind of in the dirt. But either way, it wasn't just like he's making tackles that are like 30-yard runs down the field. The man was on the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage, pass breakups. It was just a phenomenal game for him, for sure.
There's just so much to unpack here. I mean, Montez Sweat, he now is at 10 sacks on the year. Javon Dexter Jr., I mean, his emergence, I think, got his first sack today.
He did,
but
with Montez.
He's been close. Yeah, he's been close prior, and he's getting some pressures. I'm not sure what the advanced stats will say on this game, but just the multiplier that we talked about, the effect that Montez Sweat, it almost makes up for the Claypool miss. I hate to bring him up during this, and that's a little disgusting. I have to bring it up, but it's like, what a trade, because the Bears should be 7-6 right now. Say they win Detroit the first time around and they beat Denver early in the season. This team is 7-6 and they're holding the final wild card spot.
Yeah, because the finals 6 wins right now. So you'd be in there.
But I mean, It's just the turnaround, and then Yannick Ngakoue, he got a sack today. I know we
also Montez Sweat was right there. Montez Sweat was involved with causing every single sack.
He should have had another one on Goff where he got his hand on
that
him.
rollout.
Goff,
yeah.
That was a nice move by Goff. I got to give him credit. It was very elusive because we all know he's not fast, but the fact that he knows how to move within that pocket where he can make a guy miss.
No, Goff's
Is
Goff
he?
through some.
Not against the Bears.
No, maybe not against the Bears. But okay, so the fumble's not his fault. That was a bad snap. The last interception, I'm not counting, right? Like as a bad decision. Like that's basically Hail Mary stuff. You know what I mean? 4th down to Tremaine Edmonds. You're just throwing that in there. The one interception, that is on him. So I'll give him that. But again, he plays bad against the Bears, but Goff throws dimes, bro. You know how many 3rd downs in this game should have not been like converted first, but Goff threw it like in a pocket, like in a hole where no one's at. There was the 1-2, was it Laporta? Where there was one to Laporta where he threw where only Laporta could get it. It almost got knocked out. He caught it. And there was one where he threw where I don't think it was a Monra, but someone ran a post route and it was basically Tremaine Edmonds sitting on front, the JJ falling behind, and then a safety over top, and he threaded it on like 3rd and 10 right through there. So I get it. It's not his best game. He had his worst game against us last time, but I would still take Jared Goff over like 20 other quarterbacks in this. There's so many bad quarterbacks. So yeah, we've got his number for sure. So,
but would you take him over Justin Fields? I think that might be a good transition.
Depending on what you're trying to do. If I'm the Lions, I'd rather have Jared Goff right now than Justin Fields because you're in win now mode and you know what you have with Jared Goff. At the end of the day, Jared Goff still got you 9 wins. The season's not over. They'll probably still win the division. This is the best Lions team since 1960 something. So like, yeah, I would take that. Now, if you're asking if I want to build out, like if this is Madden or something, right? And you could project 10 years ahead. Do I want to start with Jared Goff or Justin Fields? That's a different story because there's more projection on what the ceiling is of Fields, but they have a win now roster. That defense is kind of going, I'd say it's trending down, but that offense is so powerful and it's such an offensive league and he's doing it well. And Ben Johnson and him have been thriving for 2 years straight. I would have to stick with Goff, right? Now, I don't want to make the trade because our team is not set up for that. We don't have Ben Johnson as the offensive coordinator, so I wouldn't want to do that switch. I'd rather stick with Fields, but if I were the Lions, I'm sticking with Jared Goff. Also, let's be fair. I mean, Jared Goff has experience in the playoffs. He's been to a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? It may not be because it wasn't put on his back, but those reps and those snaps experience all matter. So yeah, basically my little rant is I think Jared Goff doesn't get enough credit because if you look at a lot of these NFL teams right now and they have backups in and some of the scrubs they have, Jared Goff is better than he's easily a top 15 quarterback. And Fields is not at the moment. So
if he's not playing the Bears, I absolutely agree. I think it's just something when it comes to the Bears, honestly, you even can go back to
Rams game?
2018 Rams game, which I was at, one of my favorite games I've ever been to. Not that the offense provided fireworks that game, but it was the defense. It was such a fun experience and the seats were awesome. But it's like Jared Goff against the Bears. It's like they're his kryptonite, in regards to, his weakness, and which is awesome. It's fine. I mean, I'm glad he's in the division and we're able to do that. But for me, Justin Fields, and I know we talked about the defense. So first, I just thought it would be, we don't win this game without them getting those stops and getting that momentum back. So I wanted to really, and I know we talk about Justin a lot in the offense and the future, but I'm like, this defense is now, it's arrived. And the best part is, I tweeted this during the game, they're going to get better next year. The cap space, top 10. You have, if you trade that number 1 pick, whatever you do with those picks, you're going to get more, either on the offensive side, which is obviously going to be they're going to address that because the last couple of years, they've really went defense and it's really paying off now with Gordon, Brisker, all these young guys, Dexter. Now it's like you get another edge rusher. You get maybe a little bit more depth. I don't think Eddie's here, but no, all I'm trying to say, the point I'm trying to make is this defense is going to be even better next year. At least on paper. Yeah. So for me, absolutely. I feel like that's scary. And you look at the numbers, we talked about it earlier in the show, top 5 defense in the last, 6 games, something like that.
No, 9 weeks. It's been pretty consistent.
It's been longer?
Yeah. It's like it was 8 weeks and this makes 9 that they've kind of been top 5. That's half a season, bro. That's not like,
that's insane. That's not a fluke.
It's consistency. Yeah, exactly. That's a flus. That's what that is. That's not a fluke. That's a flus.
Okay. All right, Ficky, get out of here.
My bad.
That's trademark it. All right. Yeah. Offense. That's what everyone really wants to talk about. I understand it. And Justin Fields, I haven't really gauged how people feel on social about his performance.
I think it's been pretty good. It's been pretty good.
Well,
from what I saw.
So I want to go over the game today. Justin Fields, he was 19 for 33, couple misses to Mooney that we'll get to. I think that connection is just a little off. I think you tweeted it.
I agree. Yeah, there's something.
Something's off, man. Yeah. And it sucks because it was so electric when, the last season.
That's all we had. That's all we had.
Prior.
That was like our only big plays was him and Mooney.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, so 19 for 33, 223 yards passing, 1 touchdown. He had a passer rating. It was, I think it was around 89 or something like that. I'll pull that up in a moment. But he had 12 rushes for 58 yards and 1 touchdown as well. So 2 total touchdowns, 1 through the air, 1 through, of course, the ground.
Yep.
Overall performance, I want to start with you about, did he check the box today? We talked about it every episode, every game, every post-game episode, I should say. It's about, did he check the box? Because there's 7 games left, and he needed to check at least 5 out of 7 for you. I think it was 6 out of 7 for me. Yeah. And so I want to put you on the spot. Give me your recap. How do you feel? Yeah. And did he check the box today?
Okay, big thing, right? And even the coaching staff talked about this. Big thing was limiting turnovers. How many turnovers did he have today? 0, right? 0 turnovers.
0.
Yeah, there it is. Exactly.
It's a big thing. I know we're laughing, but it's a big
huge,
deal.
Huge, especially in the fourth quarter, like fumbles and all that stuff.
Look at Goff.
So, right, exactly.
That fumble changed the game.
Ended
the game almost.
Yep. So, especially where it was at, because we were already in the red zone at that point. So, so that was the first thing I was looking for, is like the turnovers. How many of those did you have? Then I looked at like how many plays were you like not really making? And again, I don't know. None of us do. We don't have the inside edition to know exactly, like the inside scoop to know exactly like, oh, ball should have went here, ball went there, but blatant obvious stuff, right? So I was kind of thinking, how many times that happened? That happened for me once. That play where he held the ball for about 9.6 seconds and ended up taking that sack, right? When he probably shouldn't have. Like you had to get the ball away. It was basically the one where Aiden Hutchinson gets hit. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson is off the edge on Darnell Wright. Nate Davis comes over, helps great, hits him up good. Fields kind of runs like next to him, which like obviously they can't block it by the way Fields kind of like ran to him. And then like instead of throwing it away, he like still holds it and then eats the sack. So I wanted to see how many of those, because there's been games where we see that happen like 3-4 times. Like, let's be real. I'm okay with 1. It was 3rd down, I think, or 2nd down. And we still end up getting points on that. I think if I can remember, it was like a field goal or something. So basically I say, okay, you're good on turnovers, good on like dumb plays. And then the next thing I look at is like accurate passes, right? That's what we want. Like, or throwing with anticipation. Basically you throwing the ball. How did that look overall? Had some misses, had some dimes. Like there was 2 of them where I'm like, yo, that the one to Komet, you threw that to only where he could get it. The one to Darnell Mooney, bro, that one was a dot. So, and then obviously there's some he missed, like we say, missed some with Mooney. He missed one wide over the center of the field. It was a little bit high to
that DJ one Moore. To DJ Moore. If I looked at him, I was like, man, that's one I was like, oh, that would have been amazing. That was a 30-yard completion, if not a little bit more.
Yep. But then he had
pun intended there.
But then he had some other good extended plays, right? Where in the first drive, that 3rd down, he shouldn't have got that. I know it was wet out there, but that man was covered because they could not get that guy down. He was slippery as hell. So he was great with his feet today. And then also he did a pretty good job on extensions, right? Either it was like, okay, he's still looking downfield when he's outside the pocket, still looking, and he delivered on that penalty where there's a penalty on us, it was a holding, it didn't count, but he basically was standing outside the pocket on the left side for like it felt like 10 seconds. And he threw like a 25-yard dot to Cole Komet across the middle. Right now, there was a holding, so it came back, but the process was perfect. And then something that was major, I'm going to take you back a little bit. All right, we're going to go back in a time machine just a tad bit. We're going to go back to the let's go back to the Nagy era. So 2018 to 2020. Okay, they used to be so bad at this. When there was a free play and offsides, we would get nothing on it. We might get sacked on the play. It's a free play, and we end up losing yards somehow. You know what I mean? And it was so ridiculous because I think there was a quote about Darnell Mooney way back then. He was talking about, we don't even practice like scramble drill, right? Back with the Nagy era. And it's like, how does that make any sense? So anyways, we fast forward to today. All right. We see it jump off sides. And what does Fields do? Notice it. Go, okay, free play. What am I looking for? Probably a deep, because you normally go home run on that. Who should I look at? I don't know, maybe the best player on my team, and throws a dot to DJ Moore for a touchdown.
It's funny you say that too. I just read a comment here. Justin Fields at the podium said about the free play, and it was like, hey, no, the key to it was they knew they got him, right? They see the flag, but they knew that they got him jumped. And the key to DJ Moore and Justin was act like it's a normal play. And so I guess he stayed in his feet. He did not look to the left to DJ. He was just making it look like he just stayed calm, but he knew they've practiced. Said DJ and him have practiced it several times. They have practiced it. Right?
Okay, there it is.
Several times where Justin knew DJ was going a go route, just going. And you could see it ended up working. It changed. You can almost say it changed the game.
Oh,
right then and
huge.
there.
Absolutely.
So to go up, and then they missed the fucking extra point.
Yeah. Crazy. I'm glad they didn't.
I was like, can I not be happy?
Yeah.
Can I not? Yeah. Well, hey, you got to give, first of all, I want to give credit to the big guy on the Lions that was making that return. I was like, honestly, kind of want you to go. Like this.
Yeah, I kind of was hoping for it. I was waiting for the end. I was like, don't go out of bounds. Don't go out of bounds. Come on.
If they're going to block it, they're going to do this. And then also Darnell Wright with that fumble. They ended up calling it
it was just
forward pass, incomplete. Yeah. But it's like, I kind of like the way Darnell was running with that ball too. I was like,
no, I think was it Darnell or was it Braxton? I can't remember.
I thought it was Darnell Wright. It could have been Braxton.
Right. No, I think it is Darnell. But either way, he hit stick that. Also, though, let's give credit to Braxton Jones too on another one where it wasn't a fumble, I think, and being a pass. He hopped on one immediately. So it's good to see that the linemen and their awareness with like, hey, ball's on the ground, let's get on that, was fantastic, because you never know with the NFL, they can reverse calls and it's all about who falls on it. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that they're actually doing that, because that could help pay off later down the road. But yeah, so going back to your original question, that's a check. After all of that, was it a perfect game? No. Was it a good game? I would say yes. It wasn't a bad one. The man, I think he probably had over 50 yards rushing with his feet. I didn't look at the exact stats yet, and I'm sure you'll bring it up. He had over 200 passing yards. He had 0 turnovers, and he had 3 total touchdowns? Sounds like a great day to me.
2 total touchdowns. So let me see here.
Wait, he had 2? We had scored 28. How do you only have 2?
DJ Moore had the other one, remember?
Oh,
DJ Moore had
handoff.
Run.
You're right.
It was not
right. It was not like a forward pitch.
Like the one that like Mitch would always get.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. Something like we definitely got in the end zone 3 times at least. So I was kind of confused.
No, it's funny. I keep relating to my uncle, but he was over. So I mean, he said the exact same thing. He's like 3 touchdowns. I was like, no, DJ Moore wasn't. Yeah. So same conversation.
Hey, good for DJ.
So, Justin was 1933, 223 yards through the air, 1 touchdown, and then he had 12 carries, 58 yards, about 5 yards a carry, and then 1 touchdown as well. Some of those runs, the QB design runs, I'm not sure if there was just missed assignments, blocking. I always feel like when the quarterback designed run, they should always have numbers. So for some reason, those are free.
Well, first off, we just played this team. This team we're very scouted on field.
Also, when you look at last year where Justin burnt them for that twice, maybe? I don't know.
Yes.
Two big runs against them.
Yes, he did. He had 2 big runs against them. So this team knows about Fields. First, it's not that the other teams don't scout, but we literally just played them. Okay. Like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So they have plenty of information on us. But we still got, especially that first drive, they worked, right? I even like that power, the on the 3rd down. Right, it led to a 4th down, but I like that call, that power O. That's kind of what a QB power. That's what the Eagles do all the time. He didn't get it. I like that. We'd like to QB sneak on 4th instead of the pitch, but whatever, we won. I won't get too much into that. But the good thing is when they didn't work, they didn't end up being dramatic losses. Yeah. Either it was like we got 2 yards, right? There's regular handoffs where you get 2 yards, so it's just like a regular run. Now, he got hit a couple times, right? But the other thing was when the play was dead, he got down. But that's the key. What I'll say, though, Dave, is with these designed runs, it's easier, even though he did on 2 of them get hit, it's easier for him to get the fuck down and be like, I'm not going to get smashed. If you talk about the play where he also like he got injured, that was from a passing play, not a running play. Because you're not expecting where people are coming from. So, anyways, go ahead.
I will say this though, he has to start getting calls because he didn't get one. This
he
game.
Doesn't. I mean,
there was at least 2 times where I'm like, one was egregious.
Egregious. I don't
know. Yeah, I don't know.
So you picked a tough one there. That's on you.
I felt so confident going into it too, and then I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Anyways, no, it was brutal. Like, I don't understand how he does not get at least one call to set the tone, for the rest of the defense. Like, you can't just go ahead and hit this guy. I understand he's a runner, but he gives himself up early in the game and just takes
the first
shot.
Drive.
Yeah,
it was like the first play, second play.
He gets up, puts his hands in the air. Komet's, walking over, pissed off too. And I'm like, absolutely. And then there was another one, sure, maybe a little bit more softer, but it's like, I've seen Mahomes. I've seen it called for less with other quarterbacks. And I know we're beating a dead horse here, and I keep on saying it. I tweet it almost. I didn't even tweet it today, just because I'm getting so sick and tired of it. But it's like,
I have a theory on it a little.
He never gets a call.
Yeah, I have a theory. Running quarterbacks in certain complexions don't get a lot of calls. I don't know why it is, because you go back to Cam Newton. You want to talk about not getting calls? That man had to retire early because his year 1 through year 4, they would literally have him spinning like a helicopter. And late hits, people throwing their bodies at it. And even Lamar early in his career, he didn't get him either. And Lamar's a tiny dude, bro. Like, you hit him, you can tell. So I don't know what it is. And, maybe this is going too much into the conspiracy, the conspiracy hole. But there is something about when they view the quarterback, and air quotes, as we like to say, as a running back, they get no calls. Because even though Mahomes like moves around the pocket and whatnot, I don't look at Mahomes and go, you're a running quarterback. You're not, right? The runners where you're like, oh, I'm scared of you. I have to game plan against you breaking one loose. Your Lamars, your Cams, your Fields. Who else now? Am I missing someone? Like, probably not right now. But like people like your anomalies of runners. You know what?
Kyler doesn't. Kyler kind of gets those calls because he's
so small. But he's like,
and he never gets hit.
Lamar was small. I meant Lamar's like skinny, but like Kyler is small, so he does get those. But yeah, he is a running quarterback. I would count him as well. But he's probably the only one that does get them. But yeah, there's something about these big running quarterbacks where it's like you don't get the benefit of the doubt because you're big, and it's like that doesn't make any sense.
Justin Fields, though, you said he checked the box. I agree with you. He checked mine as well. We started when his return was after the Panthers game against the Detroit Lions, the team he played today, of course. That's where they lost 31-26. I think we both said he checked the box. It sucked. It was a terrible loss. That was one. Viking game, I think it was a slash. For me,
it's hard to grade. Okay, that's fine.
For me, it was not. So for me, today, absolutely.
2-1.
Today was impressive. I liked his mental toughness, actually just his toughness overall. That first half, he was getting hit after hit. You could see him, rotating his arm a little bit on the sideline. The mental toughness and the coaching adjustments and the fact that he was able to come out in the second half and perform the way he did. And I tweeted at halftime, I said, this is a game. That first half pushes the Bears, in my opinion, to go with a quarterback in the draft because of how inconsistent. And I know the play calling didn't help. I get that, but it's like, that is a half where you're like, okay, the coaching staff has to go, but I think the quarterback does too. And then he comes out and performs. Sure, it wasn't amazing, but there were a lot of good things.
Did what you had to do.
And he won the game. It was a methodical ass whooping, in my opinion. It wasn't pretty at times, but it was just they kicked their ass.
Yeah, absolutely.
Defense, and then I believe at times on the offensive side of the ball where they were
they definitely did.
And so for me, he checked the box, so he's 2 for 3. Your opinion, you needed 5 out of the last 7 games to be checked. I needed 6 for 7 for me to be confident to move on. I might be changing that because of my stance on the quarterbacks. I think Caleb Williams and Drake May, I just don't believe they are worth taking that flyer, that risk.
There's definitely a lot of risk.
And I think as of right now, I think where the needle is pointing, I think you just build around Justin because for me, I believe that they have a chance that most teams would dream of as far as building a roster around a quarterback. And hopefully, I don't think Justin's going to want big time money. The good news is you don't have to pay him next year, right?
No, you probably, so they probably will. There's two
you
ways.
Can extend him this offseason if they stick with him?
They'll extend him. So if they keep him, I think they'll extend, and there's two routes they go. Either they go, okay, we're going to give you big money, but you wouldn't break the market, but good money.
Are you thinking like a Jordan Love extension, but more?
Well, there's
but
two.
A little bit
there's
more?
Two.
Okay.
There's two. Okay. So that's one. We'll go to that one since you mentioned it. First option is to go the Jordan Love route, right? We'll give you like that 2-year extension. Basically, one's a team option. You come in. It's basically like we're hedging our bets. If you ball out, obviously you come back to the table and you get the big money again. You did that. The second thing is you go like the Jalen Hurts route, where it's not the amount of money, but they basically were like, we're going to get ahead of it, because at the end of the day, if we get ahead of it now, and we pay you big money now, when it comes to when your contract's up, which would be 2 years for Fields, your value of what we got you at is going to be so much lower than what the expected value is at that point. So if they want to go long term, they'll probably go that route and sign him next season, in my opinion. If they want to go short term and hedge, they'll do the extension this season, and then next season they'll give him his actual big money, depending on how he plays. Right? That's assuming that they even stick with him. We don't know that for sure, but that's kind of the two routes I see. Either way, he's not destroying the bank because he hasn't proven that yet. But he will have to get some sort of extension, because you always want to get ahead of the extensions, because when you wait it out, you end up in a Lamar Jackson. And I'm all for my people getting their money, for the players, right? I want the players to get their money, but from the business standpoint, if you wait that long, you end up having to give so much, so much money, because you lose the leverage from the financial standpoint. So, yeah, and then there's a comment here that Steven said they could use his 5th-year option, then pay him. You could, but the 5th-year option is so expensive that, especially for the quarterback position, that again, if they want to get that AAV down, they'll probably go the Jordan Love route if they don't feel long term, because they can get him they'll have more money to spend year per year. And then Steven here has same Steven. He said $35 million a year. I mean, that's not bad. You're not getting like 50, high 40s, which is like where the market's at right now for those top quarterbacks. So, again, at the end of the day, you have to pay your quarterback.
The problem is, you look at the Giants. They overpaid Daniel Jones, a big time contract. Justin's better. I think I can compare.
Yeah, you wouldn't be. Yeah, I agree.
Even his floor, in my opinion, is better. So, 35.
I mean. I'm not in. I wouldn't even be mad if he got a Daniel Jones contract, because we know what his floor is. Yeah, his floor is way higher than Daniel Jones's floor,
and he's still young. He's 24 years old, and what they don't have to pay him next year. They don't even have to pay him the year after that. There is a franchise tag. Sure, well he could, if he plays well enough, the Bears are going to pay him. If he doesn't play, if he plays mediocre and it's still inconsistent, I think he would understand getting the franchise tag. And I know we're talking way ahead, but it's like just going into next year, where I know you said they may have to pay him this offseason. I don't think that's the case. You got him on it's a 4-year rookie contract, year 4.
No, but I think they'll want to get, because the longer they wait, the more expensive he could be. That's what I think they have to. So because if you look at risk, right, I think they want to get ahead. It's all about risk mitigation.
But like from Steve here is they paid Love 23 for 1 year, 23 million for 1 year. So
that's his deal.
And and he didn't even play a snap. And I think Justin's proven more. And we can get into Jordan Love, Justin Fields, because Jordan Love has played very well as of the last few weeks. Like it sucks to say, but I mean he's been pretty good. And there's been moments shaky, but again, Justin, you say you want to maybe get a deal done. If they do that, it's probably going to be a cheaper deal. Then
he's not breaking the bank just yet. Not yet, which is fine. And that's he hasn't shown to get that type of money yet. But my thing is, if they don't go QB and they're going with Fields, they want Fields long term, because otherwise, if they don't think Fields is long term, they would have drafted Caleb May or Drake May with that first pick. Because update, Saints whooped the Panthers, so we're 2 wins away from that being a number 1 lock, right? Which is most likely going to happen. So they are, no matter what, passing up on a top quality quarterback. So if they believe in Fields, they don't want Fields to be here 1 or 2 years. So I actually think, and I could be wrong, I could totally be wrong because I don't know what his market is set for right now. Okay. But I think if they don't draft Caleb, right, because that's what I think will go first, they will actually sign Fields to a long-term extension, but I don't know what that value is going to be at. So I don't think they even go the Jordan Love route, in my opinion.
No, and we have plenty of time to get it all.
We have no idea.
There's so many options. The Bears don't even have to worry about, cap space. At the end of the day, it's a good problem to have, especially if Justin proves to be the guy. Another person I wanted to give, I forgot to give him his flowers on the defense. Tremaine Edmonds. I know I've been harsh on him a little bit just because they did pay him. He's been, I know he had the interception today, but I mean, he had a tackle for loss where it was the running back was in open space, but that's not the first time he's made that play. He's so big and long. Pause right there. No, he's just a large human being.
No, he's huge. He's ginormous.
He's exactly his length. It's wild. And so when he is coming down, and making that, first of all, it's impressive how he kind of makes tackles in open space. When you have a running back as shifty as the guys are in the NFL, I think it was Gibbs. It wasn't Monty because it was Gibbs, which is even more impressive. But he's just so, what's the word? Like he's like it's always like a TFL. He does not miss as far as being in the open field with one-on-one with a player, which I just you don't see a lot in linebackers. Now he did have a play. I think it was over the
wide
middle.
Receiver. He's missed some wide receivers, but they're also wide receivers. But like against running backs and tight ends, he's been pretty locked down. So
either way, I just want to give. I've been harsh on him, but I really believe he has made significant progress, and he's still 20. I think he's 24 too. This Bears team is really fucking young.
The thing I realized about this team is that and we knew this from the draft and the kind of the prospects they went after, but everyone on this team is giant, bro. Javon Dexter, Montez Sweat, Tremaine Edmonds,
and that's why I don't think they're going.
Huge.
But Caleb Williams is 6'1", and he may be shorter when it comes to the combine. You could be 6 foot. USC gives him 6'1". Yeah, that could be embellished a little bit. You know how it is. So for me, it's like they do go on traits and everything like that. But again, the Bears are 5-8 now. We haven't done this in a little bit just because it's been like we just didn't think they were going to continue to win any games. Where do you think this team's going to end up?
Total. Wow, we haven't done that in a minute.
Because why do it when it's like, oh no, we're sticking to the same. I kind of feel very passionate about where I think they're going to end up, man.
Okay, I got to make sure I'm not just. So
let me go through this
because I might be snorting the.
They have 4 games left. The Browns.
Yep.
That is going to be in Cleveland.
Yep.
That's tough. They got the Cardinals, Falcons, Packers.
Okay. So I'll give you my low, my high, and my realism. Okay. My low is that they only win 1 out of the next 4. I think no matter what, they get 1 more win. Okay. My high is that they win out. Possible they could do it. It's possible. It's the NFL. It's 4 games. That's definitely teams have done it before. Realistically, this is how I'm going. I think they upset Cleveland. I think they beat the Cardinals.
That's a 4-game win streak.
Yep. I think they beat the Falcons.
Don't tell me they fucking lose to Lamb. Yeah. Don't tell me that you can. I'll tell you what.
In Lambeau, bro.
If they win the next 3, that's a 5-game win streak. You cannot lose. That would just deflate the entire win streak.
Until we see it. And it's in Lambeau. You know how hard it is to win. We haven't won in Lambeau, I think, since I was in the womb, bro.
How poetic would be to win out or to win your next 3 games against Cleveland, the Cardinals, the Falcons. That's a 5-game win streak. And you could be playing for a play-in, or you could be playing for the final wild card spot in Lambeau. Or the Bears might need a win or something to get in. But let's just say it's a either to keep the Packers out or they have a slight chance to even sneak in. That game right there, I don't care what has happened, what transpired. If they beat the Falcons, they beat the Browns, they beat the Cardinals, whatever, and then a 5-game win streak. If they lose against the Packers, I guarantee you, I don't know if Flus is going to be back because
he would be.
You can't lose
because you won 8 games, bro.
That would be impressive.
You went on a 5-game win streak, 8
that
wins.
So awesome. I guess it really depends.
My thing though, and I don't want to
hate to lose to.
I don't want to
Packers, man.
Recent. I know it sucks, but we should be used to it right now. But I don't want to be too much on the recency bias because we did play well. But there's also a case I want to say realistically, I could see us. I don't think we're going to go 1-4. I don't think we're going to go 4-0, but I'm leaning more like more to 3-1, but I could see a 2-2, right? And my reasons behind that is the Falcons are a good team other than Ritter, right? So I think we can beat them because their quarterback's not good. Cleveland has such a really good defense, and now Joe Flacco is balling out of his mind. So we could still lose to him, or we get the 40-year-old Joe Flacco that he should be playing like, right? Because I think he went for like 3 touchdowns, 300 yards today, okay? Which is crazy, right? So it's very much quarterback-based because a lot of these teams don't have a quarterback. Well, the two teams don't. Then you have the Cardinals, which I think their quarterback play is good, but the rest of the team is not, but could lose to them. And then the Packers, which I already said. So I think 3 in a row, lose to Packers or win against lose against Cleveland, then go on a 2-game winning streak where we beat Cardinals, beat Falcons, and lose again. So that would make us what? How many games we won? 5 games so far? So yeah, I think it's 5 games. So I see us going 7-10 or 8-9. But if I'm wrong and we go 9-8, that means you're probably, maybe in the playoffs. Maybe. Not sure.
It's honestly, you look at, let me see here. I was trying to pull it up. So right now, the Bears are 5-8. The 7th, 8th, and 9th seed, 10th seed. So that all the way, wow. So the 11th seed, the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th teams in the NFC, the 5 teams ahead of the Bears right now are 6-win teams.
That's what I thought. It's 1 game. We're 1 game back.
1 game back. I mean, I think a couple have to play still. The Rams. So we play Atlanta, who's the 10th seed. You play Green Bay, who's holding on to that 7th seed, which is very important there.
Yeah.
Minnesota is at 6-6, but I mean, even hell, you could be playing for the division. Oh no, that's the Lions. Never mind, they're way ahead. I forgot the.
Well, I mean, we are beating them, but we're not beating them to the.
Yeah, you can't get. They're at 9-4, so it's almost. I think it's mathematically impossible.
They'd have to lose out
and get some help. But yeah, and then Seattle's at the 8th seed. They're 6-6, of course, and the Rams are 6-7. So I mean, the Bears are kind of sneakily, just because of how bad the bottom half of the NFC is. They are very, very. Yeah, they're right there, man. They just have they have to win out, in my opinion. That can almost guarantee you a playoff bid, or at least sneak in. But you need, if you lose one, you're going to need help. But it's almost if you win out and you get a little, if you win out, you're likely going to get a game or 2 from someone else that is going to help you sneak in. So right now the Bears actually, it's going to be fun, man. If they can continue this win streak, at least up until Lambeau, where, it could be, win or go home. That's a crazy season. The only thing that sucks is the Bears, they really could be here. They could be at 7-6. If those 2 games are flipped.
The Broncos in the other Lions game. That's football, bro. It sucks.
It's a drive or 2 away from being completely different. So,
by the way, we do have a comment here from Saguther. Appreciate it, Saguther. But he said, I just found it. You may have seen already, but Jaquan did repost your tweet about the 17 tackles.
Yeah, I had so Kyle Long, friend of the pod, he retweeted it and he goes, bro, because I said Jaquan Brisker, 17 tackles versus the Lions, unreal for a safety. I actually tweeted it during the pod. I mean, multitasking, but anyways, I just thought it was unreal, dude. 17 fucking tackles is insane. And so Kyle, he said, bro. He said, bro, tagged Brisker. He said, what the fuck? And then Brisker over here going, they said I had to go off like you. So he's just paying. I love Brisker. I love the way he plays. He's got to stop scaring me when he goes down like that. I don't know if, other Bears fans feel that way, but every game, I swear I'm like, oh shit, please be all right. So, but yeah, absolutely. Shout out to both of those guys. Brisker, I mean, I'm really not trying to blow smoke here. It's just like 17 tackles from a safety.
That's crazy, bro. 17 tackles.
Like that doesn't seem. It is unreal. So
that's 17 tackles is a lot for anybody, but safety even more at that. That's crazy.
Wait, when's the last time? I don't even know. I have to do some research there.
Roquan, he had some big high tackle games.
Mm-hmm. No, from a safety though.
Oh, safety. I don't know. Maybe Mike Brown.
Yeah.
Mike Brown way back in the day.
Jalen Johnson. I don't even know if you talked about him.
That baller.
That top 5 corner. I'm saying it. Top 5 corner. He needs to get paid.
That's why I gave him an A last time. Yeah, you got to pay that man, bro.
And he's
4
so, I mean, I
interceptions?
keep on saying it, but he's young and his ball skills, he's starting to bait quarterbacks.
Yeah, he
Like,
did it
bait them,
two
dude.
games now. 2 games in
It's
a row in the
disgusting.
zone.
I'm like, you got to stop that, man. It is so fun to watch him play football because I don't feel like we've seen him. He's kind of taken his game to another gear, another level where he is able to manipulate these quarterbacks. And Jared Goff is a veteran, and he's done it a couple of times.
No, he
very
has
impressive.
Four interceptions. You know the last person who had that many on the Bears? Not to put you on the spot, but do you remember?
Say it again.
Do you know the last corner to have 4 interceptions on the Bears?
Last corner. Let me think here.
We drafted him in the first round, way back. He played with Kyle Long. Oh my gosh! Now I can't remember his name. His brother. Wow, did I just forget his name live? I'm asking you the question now. I can't remember. What is his name now? Wow, I'm gonna have to come back to it. I literally just blanked on it, which is funny as hell. He was on the 2018 squad.
Oh man, hold on. It's not Charles Tillman.
No.
He
Charles Tillman definitely had a season before, but that was way back.
No. Oh, I have Billiam over here going Fuller.
Yes, Kyle Fuller. Oh my goodness. Why did I forget it, bro? Why did I
over here going? He goes Peanut.
Yeah, I'm wearing peanuts right now, by the way. But no, Kyle Fuller. Yeah, Kyle Fuller had 4 interceptions, I think, in 2017 or something like that. So, just a little fun fact. Yeah, good job for everyone who got it here. Billiam, nice shout out on that for Fuller. You had Milton here who said Kyle Fuller, and then Sean as well said Kyle Fuller. So appreciate that because I totally had it in my head, and as soon as I asked Dave, that thing disappeared. So. But yeah, basically I'm comparing that because like Kyle Fuller was a good corner for us, not top 5, but Jalen Johnson's having a great season. So it's good to see. And he could possibly have had more. He could be at like 6 right now. He
could have 2 pick sixes. I'm going to keep saying it. That's the crazy part. I think that he would have money in his bank right now if he had those 2 pick
direct
sixes.
deposit.
I'm joking, but it is pretty incredible. But like I said, I think all around, it's an incredible win. It's a signature win they should have had a couple weeks ago against the same team they just did it to. But I think it's a fun team. This is what I expected heading into the season, where I thought they were going to be really fun. And I really hate that Justin. I said it 2 pods ago or even last episode, where I wish we could have seen Justin not get hurt this year, where he missed those month and a half or. It sucked because he just had back-to-back touchdown game or 4 touchdown games. Minnesota game was rough, but again, I wish we could see a full season from him, and that plays a bit. There is a factor in his health about running quarterbacks. I understand that, but it's like, man, he does show the ability to be above average to play quarterback at an above average level, and you have the ability to build around him now. And I just think it's franchises don't get this opportunity, a lot. You look at San Francisco, you look at, the Eagles, those type of teams, what they've done, where they've built such a solid roster. It doesn't really matter who is playing quarterback. Brock Purdy, he came in, he's succeeding. Justin, I think, can do the same thing. And I know there's 4 games left. Let's see if they can go on a run. But at the end of the day, man, it's encouraging and it's fun. That's all I ask for, really.
Absolutely. Before we go on to the next topic, if you guys are enjoying the show, please give us a thumbs up. Appreciate it. It's very free. And if this is your first time, go ahead in the comments, drop in #NewFaceGang. We'll give you a shout out. And if you're an OG that's been here for a minute as well, give us in the comments, do #OG. We'll give you a shout out at the end of the show. I do want to mention again that this show is brought to you by Mockery.com. So you can go there to get all Chicago sports. Dave writes on there consistently.
I'm gonna have a couple pieces up about this one.
So many articles on there, so definitely check that out. And then also, if you stay to the end of the show, which we're getting close to, we have a new voicemail line where you can go onto the voicemail line. Hogan Johns does something like this if you've seen it before. Shout out to them; they do a great job with it. But basically, we wanted to get your guys' opinions and thoughts and play them live on the show. So we had some that came in today, and we'll play them at the end of the show. But basically, you go to the website and you just record on your phone, basically like, you're leaving a voicemail, and then we're able to get it and we can play it on the show. And so I'm going to drop the link in the chat right now. If you want to record something in there for us to play. We'll play it at the very end of the show. I know there's a couple in there right now. We'll get those ready, but I went ahead and dropped that link in there now. You can go there, and that will always be the link. So if you want to call in for a pregame before the game started and tell us how you're feeling about the game and what the predictions are, you want to call in at halftime and give us your halftime update and how the team's doing. And then, of course, the postgame, right? Let us know what you feel of the game, how Justin Fields played, the defense, et cetera, et cetera. Or if you just want to vent, because we've had plenty of those games where you're just like,
and there's gonna be lots of times where you just want to vent.
You just want to vent. You can do that too. Just feel free to go in there. And this is our first time doing it, so we'll get the process a little bit cleaner. But we just want to kind of test it out with y'all. So we really appreciate everyone that's
moving forward. And we were going to have it set up today, but just a lot going on. And so we're going to have it. It's going to be set up next week, or it's already set up, but we're going to really have it going. I'll tweet it out on my own personal Twitter. Ficky will do the same, and of course the BFR podcast. And I think we're going to have the link or something along those lines on the BFR Twitter, right, Ficky? Something like that. Yeah. Either way. We think it's a fun way. First of all, we both watch a bunch of podcasts. They bring it in. It's a way to just kind of interact with the community. Shout out to Hogan Johns again. They are probably the best in the business when it comes to this. It's one of my favorite segments. So we thought, hey, let's just add to it. If you guys want to be a part of it, we appreciate it. My uncle said he was going to call in, so I'm not sure what he's going to say.
Yeah, we need some of that.
Yeah, so I'm going to shoot him the link. So we'll have more on probably Tuesday or Wednesday's episode. But of course, what we're going to do, maybe a little bit different than Hogan Johns, is we're going to be right after the post game. We're actually going to have it open, and we're going to do them right then and there, probably at the end of the show. Do a little bit different, but like I said, I think it's fun. If you guys want to participate in it, we appreciate it too. But yeah, again, if you can just leave a like. Even if you don't even like the pod, the Bears won today.
Yeah, like for a win.
Just hit the like button, man. This is awesome. This is 2 in a row. It has not happened in a while. So hit the like button. And if you do enjoy the pod, go ahead and sub too. So all our Apple, Spotify listeners too, we appreciate you. Not going to forget about you. If you can, rate the pod. Awesome. Again.
We really appreciate it.
Almost to 3,000 subs.
On our way. So, and then before we transition here, well, go ahead. We got some hashtags in here. So Dakota said hashtag OG. Thank you, Dakota, on Facebook. Appreciate that. JoJo's in the building with the new face gang. Thank you, JoJo. Really appreciate you hopping on here and watching us talk and celebrate this wonderful win. So appreciate it. Again, you can do this throughout the show. Whenever they come in, we'll share them. OG, new face gang. We love seeing all the different faces in here, whether you're a first timer or you've been in here since day one. We really appreciate it. So.
Absolutely. Well, Ficky, is there anything else you kind of want to get to? We'll have a more impact or overview of the game, and kind of have a little bit more of a nuanced take, some in-depth stats, and just kind of recap the game probably Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. But we were excited to kind of go live. We appreciate everyone that's tuned in. But Ficky, I think you had a voicemail or two where you wanted to...
So a guy did, Lucas. But let me give these shouts real quick before we go to that. But Lucas did leave a pregame and a halftime and a postgame. So I'm excited to hear what he had to say. So we do got one more.
This is our first one ever, and we're only going to do one today. But we'll have them all. We'll have the rest hopefully on Tuesday, and of course we will tweet it out next Sunday. And it will just be fun. And they are game. I think a little bit different here is it is unfiltered for the most part. So, I mean, we want you to be honest.
Don't get canceled. Don't be saying anything that gets you canceled. If you need to, drop
perfect.
Some
well fucking said. But F words are fine. Explicitness is okay. Obviously if we have kids watching the show, I don't know what to say.
But I mean, if that's the case, they've already heard too many from me.
Skip this now. Skip it, and then we'll go forward. If not, if you're fine, you're a little bit older. It is what it is. But we want it to be a unique, fun, unfiltered fan takes. And we'll go from there. So.
Yeah, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and play this one now from Lucas, and this was his halftime thoughts. So let's play it and see.
And we have not heard these.
Defense looked good early. Got too conservative. Number 1 run defense, and we're getting babied by the Lions right now. Man, love Justin Fields so much, but goddamn, there's just some plays where I'm like, get the ball out, man. I swear he'll be sitting there in clean pockets, and he'll bail early. He'll try to make something happen. There's been a few hits where he's almost gotten hurt on, and it's just like I know we don't have the all 22 yet, but I have a hard time believing there's not a single place for him to get with the ball. And it's just scrambling every time. I don't know if that's all his fault. I'm sure it's a You know, the past few years, it's gotten drilled into him that like he can't trust what his eyes are seeing. But goddamn, get the ball out of your hands, Fields. Hopefully, something changes in the second half. All right.
Okay, honestly, by the first half, that's kind of I could understand that. You're like, yo,
That's how I felt.
yeah, it's like, come on, bro. There's some plays you need to make. So I'm excited to see how his opinion changed from the first to the second, because it was definitely a different game in the second half. So let's see.
All right, checking in with the post-game thoughts. Kind of doubling back on my halftime thoughts. I thought Fields did a lot better job getting the ball out quick, letting his playmakers make some plays, with the hitches and the curls. I feel like he did a really good job of that. Still a couple of accuracy things, though, that just confuse me because he's such a good deep ball thrower and he just puts it on the money, but it's like sometimes that short and intermediate window, he just misses stuff that he shouldn't. The two throws to Mooney, 100% Mooney should have caught. I know people are going to say that those are bad throws by Fields, and yeah, they could have been better balls, but Mooney got his hands on it both times, and he should have made the catch. The Kmet one, I think like the announcer said, Kmet's going to say he should have caught it. Fields is going to say he should have thrown a better ball. I could see that going either way, but that last one to DJ Moore is the one that really just irks me because it's like he airmailed him by a lot. DJ Moore shown an insane catch radius, and to airmail him by that much is it's a tough look. Still love Fields. Thought this was a really emphatic win for him and for the team. Defense showed out. Montez Sweat is a game wrecker. Anybody saying that he didn't deserve the contract or that the trade was stupid are real quiet right now. And I'm excited to see if we could build on this. I know us Bear fans are so delusional and hoping for anything, but winning out and trying to sneak into that wild card spot's still alive. So what are you going to do? Bear down, baby.
That shit fired me up at the end.
Yeah,
sneak in. It's not delusional, man. It's possible. Until the numbers say otherwise, I'm sticking with it. I want to say shout out to we have a really awesome guy, which we got to have him on the pod, Swift Sports Network. Over here with a comment. First of all, check his stuff out on YouTube over there if you haven't already. But he said, I was mad that DJ had 0 targets at halftime.
That was crazy.
Absolutely. He actually. So someone got the memo because he had 10 targets on 6 catches for 68 yards and 1 touchdown and should have had more. I think was it Luke who was the voicemail here?
Yeah,
he said it perfectly. Lucas. He said it perfectly. It was he airmailed it. And he even said as soon as you saw the camera pan to Fields and he tapped his chest, it was me. And you're right. And the thing is, I feel like Fields, when he throws it that deep, he's pretty accurate. And so the misses with Mooney were a little frustrating. And then, of course, I agree with Lucas there. That DJ Moore one, because that would have put DJ Moore over probably 100 yards. He would have tacked on another reception. So it is what it is. But shout out to Swift Sports Network over there, Swifty. He's a great Bears content creator. So I wanted to kind of give him some love over there. So
awesome. And thanks to you, Lucas, for the voicemail. Appreciate it.
No, that is sick. That is going to be fun. It's going to be dangerous. And like I said, it is going to be unfiltered. So you guys be prepared. And again, try not to get canceled. Do not get canceled. I guess we'll vet it if we can.
Yeah, we'll at least make sure because we don't want to get canceled either. But yeah, we'll vet them. But don't feel bad if you throw in some cuss words here and there. I just want to.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
So we're good. We're good on that. Yeah, try not to get canceled, please.
That's the
we want you to be able to watch your Bears in peace. Yeah, don't get canceled.
Yeah,
but again, that's all I got, man.
The support has been unreal. We on our way to about 2,000 or 3,000 subs on YouTube. We appreciate it. Apple, Spotify. We have not forgotten about you guys either. The love again. It's been fun, and the Bears are fun again. You could say we have a little bit something to play for. So we'll be back Tuesday, Wednesday. We actually have a very special episode. I'll say here we have Robert Schmitz over there. Their podcast. Bear with me. They're going to be coming on. It's going to be like a joint podcast. So they're going to be joining with us, and we are going to Nick Whalen is the guest over there, or I'm sorry, the co-host with Rob, and they're going to just talk Bears with us, which there's a lot to talk about now. There's a lot of scenarios. I don't even think we're going to talk
about, but it's normally not been.
It's fun now. It's not just going to be about the quarterback, It's about the defense. There's just there's a lot of fun things, a lot of storylines going on with this team. And honestly, Matt Eberflus is kind of growing on me. We didn't even talk about him and maybe him sticking around for another year and Luke
They
Getsy
keep winning. It's pretty simple. Winning cures everything. You keep winning, your chances of being a coach go up because you win. That's all that matters. So if you win out, I promise you, if we win out, they are running it back. If we go 9-8, they are running it back with everyone. I promise you. I would be so surprised because we talked about consistency with the team, right? Mm-hmm. That's something to keep consistency. You won more games than you lost. You were the worst team in the NFL, the National Football League last year. And you went from 3 wins to 9 wins. Again, this is all speculative. They have to win out. That's a +6 jump. That's huge. Teams don't do that. Everyone comes back. Guarantee it. Mark my words right now. I can guarantee it, as Charles Barkley would say. But if it's like if we don't win another game, that's where it's like, okay, you lose out for the last 4, then you start having some conversations.
So I want to end with this. Well, actually, we had what has happened to JF1 and Mooney. That's from
Stick with her.
Yeah. So first of all, I think we touched on it earlier, and we kind of I think they're just off, man. It's
I don't
It's
weird. Know what it is.
I'm gonna put a little bit on Mooney, a little bit more. I think he holds a little bit more to blame. It's not been his sharpest year. He's
coming off that injury. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
And maybe it's a little bit biasness because I'm seeing DJ Moore catch rate, just the way that it is insane. So I'm like, Mooney, we've seen you make some tough catches. He's done it in the past. I'm like,
easily.
Some of them are going through his hands, and some are like, tough one-handed. But it's like, I kind of want to see that happen.
Is it the offseason not having as much time together?
The injury recovery.
I don't know. Yeah. The injury recovery, I don't know. So
yeah. But hey, I want to end with this, and then we'll kind of get out of here, and we'll be back later in the week. But DJ Moore was asked, he goes, do you guys feel like you're growing? He had an awesome answer. He goes, heck yeah. Do you not remember when we were on that up and down roller coaster and we just stacked 2 wins back to back? So I'd say we're doing great. So I think that's a fun way to end the pod. There's a lot of momentum here. And worst case scenario, you win out, you still don't get in, but you got the momentum heading into next year. And look at the Lions. I know we just beat them, but they were 9-4. Fun team. And you have a lot more coming in next year depending on what they do with the picks, the cap space and everything like that. So
it's pretty simple, man. 3 words: winning cures all. You start winning, you'll probably be set. So
yeah,
we'll see hopefully they keep winning. That's all we can ask for. Is just hopefully they keep winning, and luckily the strength of the schedule is.
There's a lot of winnable games there, Ficky.
Oh, it's NFL, so every game's win. But yes, we're not playing like some of these top playoff contenders. Yeah, actually, I don't know if any of these teams are true playoff lock-in contenders.
Nope.
So you know what I mean? So,
win the table, win and get in, win and sneak in. That's what I'm going to keep saying. Win and sneak in.
Man, can you imagine you get a playoff game? That's crazy. For how this team started, I know we're hopefully.
I want to do a playoff pod episode.
Oh, we have to. That'd be crazy.
We're due. And anyways, man, you can make some noise. I'm getting ahead of myself. I feel like this team can make some noise. You get in.
They may shit the bed literally next
week.
Look
at the Giants, the New York Giants, who, they went on a little run there. I'm not saying we're doing that. Absolutely, probably not. But this defense keeps on playing. I'm just going to shut up now because
like you said last week with Kevin Garnett, anything is possible. So.
Anything is possible. And anyways, when you beat a 9-3 team like they did against the Lions today,
you feel good.
Are the Lions frauds? Or the Bears just really, really good?
I think 4 of their last 5. They're not a fraud. You have 9 wins.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? It's the NFL. Teams lose.
Absolutely. Again, well, hey, Marcus Watkins on YouTube, he goes, that's a great win. We'll leave it at that. It's a great win. We'll be back later this week. We appreciate the support. Bear down and enjoy this one.
Peace.